Welcome to Fun with Vintage. My name is Melanie. I am a stay-at-home mom of three and a small business owner. My kids are 5, 3, and 10 months, so life around here is crazy and it's just about to get worse. My 10-month-old is this close to walking, and when I say I'm not ready, Mama's not ready. But you're gonna see a lot of that, the good, bad, the ugly of being at home. Um, as a small business owner, but also lots of thrifting. And who doesn't love that? I'm sure you do if you're here watching this channel. My love for vintage goes back as far as I can remember, just finding that unique piece, that diamond in the rough through all of the trash that you're sifting through, just to bring home that one piece that you're so excited about. You can get into your house, you can curate it the way that you want it, and it doesn't have to be something that you can find at a big box store, because let's be honest, we all want to be individual and unique and be able to have a space that really brings us joy. Now, really quick, we're gonna go over to the other day when my family and I were shopping at Savers to restock my vintage booth for spring. So today we are going to Savers in Schaumburg, Illinois. It's just me, my husband Logan, and our little baby Rhett. The big kids were at their grandma's having an indoor camp out with all of their cousins, so they were out having a great time, and we were happy to be able to look without 3 kids running around us like usual. So here we started, and this was the first thing I found and picked up. I really loved the bird and the flower, and I started carrying it around with me, but unfortunately I ended up putting it back. You'll see later. This vase I thought was really pretty. It looks hand painted. I love the colors for spring, and it was a really kind of unique shape, so I grabbed that as well. Walking down the pottery aisle, I spot this interesting looking vase on the ground there. And of course, Logan went with the cart without me, so I'm just looking all this stuff around in the aisles. But I find this, and I thought the texture was really interesting. I had never seen anything like that before, and it turns out it's actually a water holder, and it's supposed to come with a little cup on top, but it gives the water a really unique taste because of the clay, and it keeps it cold. It's definitely a traditional Mexican thing, and I learned a lot by looking that up. So you can see there, I just put that away, and I found this little handmade planter, which I thought was a great color scheme for spring. All of these items so far are going to be going in my vintage booth in Bloomindale, Illinois. I see this planter as well. I didn't really love it. I didn't like the inside. It looked a little too modern for me, so I ended up putting that back. Still kicking myself for not picking up that bird statue. It's probably a little too modern as well, but just watching this back, I really liked it, and I should have kept it for myself. So now I am trying to chase them down to put these things in the cart because I'm running out of space in my hands. So here you can see the baby's just along for the ride, hanging out, saying, "Hi, Mom." Here I see, I thought this was a spice of life, but it is not. So sadly, I put that back. That is one thing that I do collect and I'm always on the hunt for. And then I spot this really interesting pattern down here with this canister, and I sit there and I stare at it for a little while. It's West Bend brand, made in the USA. It was kind of dirty on the inside, and I just really wasn't sure. Typically when I'm buying things, I like to go with my gut feeling. And this one, for some reason, I stared at it too long and ended up putting it back. Almost dropped it putting it back there, but don't worry, nothing was harmed. As I keep going, I did find a spice of life, but unfortunately, this is one that I already have multiples of, so I put that back as well. This piece here, I did end up picking up for my booth. Sorry, Mo's my cat in the background. It was handmade. It's a really pretty casserole dish. It's right before Easter. I don't know if this design was like pressed on or if it was painted. It looks a little bit imperfect, but that's kind of what I liked about it, so I did pick that up. And then here I find this canister. I love the color, great for spring. As you can see, I only have one hand because I have that casserole dish in the other hand, but for some reason the lid was kind of messed up. It looked like the ring around it was riding out a little bit and I couldn't get it to close, so unfortunately I ended up putting that back as well. Baby Rhett here started yelling a little bit in the store, and you could tell that he was hungry, so Mama needed to take a break and give him a snack. And I just realized here that his poor little arm got strapped in the strap there. Kept him from trying to climb out, I guess. Here is a giant wall of art. At first I picked this up. I really love florals, but this was a little too classic, maybe the word for me, and I had a lot of floral things in my booth already. This one I did like. I really love outdoor nature scenes and they do well for me, but unfortunately, the wood on this frame was just a little too chewed up for that price point, and I didn't think I could sell it for enough in my shop. I really do look for things that have character, and I don't really mind if there's a few nicks and dents here and there because I believe that it kind of just goes with the history of the piece, but that one was just a little bit too much. This one I did pick up, and it is currently in my shop. The barn scenes do really well for me, and I loved the light blue for spring. Again, Easter's coming up. I thought that would do pretty well. I try not to get other people's faces when I'm walking around on camera, but I did spot this one as well. I kind of liked the metallic scene on the outside. Again, another vintage barn piece. The hanger was hanging off there, but I was able to fix that, and that is available in my booth as well. And this one I went back and forth on so many times. I loved the frame on the outside. It was very rustic. It wasn't a painting, it was a print, but it was signed. And I looked at it. You can see me pretty soon here put it in my cart, but I end up putting it back at the end. And again, like the bird statue, I am kicking myself because I do think it would have done well in my booth. Say hi to Logan, being silly there. And little baby Rhett still working on his snacks. So like I said, I put it in the cart here, but I do end up putting it back right before we leave, and I am still kicking myself. Walking down here, I see this beautiful trunk, and I immediately look at the price. It's $15, and at that price point, I just ended up leaving it behind. I didn't think I can get enough spread on that in my booth, but I thought about it afterwards for just display, and I again decided against it. I do have one large roll of fabric like this already in my booth, so I ended up leaving this one behind as well. I always make sure to stop by the tablecloths and the placemat section because you can find some really cool things here. I do end up passing up this set right here at $2.99. Looking back at it in the video, I probably should have picked it up. It did have a lot of really cool detail, but I ended up spotting this one down the line right here, and I am obsessed with the texture of it. It's hand woven. It's a set of two, but at $2.99, and these colors, I really couldn't pass it up. Lastly, I check out the purse section before we go to checkout. I did really like this for spring, this like woven bag. It was pretty clean inside. I could definitely clean it up, but as you can see by the clip, it was a little pulled out, which that's the one thing I don't like about Savers and honestly Goodwill's too, about how they clip their bags, because a lot of time it damages them. This one was a little bit more on the modern side than I would normally pick up, but I did like that it was leather. I ended up putting it back because the handles were in not so great condition. Had this one been $3.99 or $4.99, I would have picked that one up as well. I know that the one strap kind of over the shoulder bags are really in right now, and this one was in good condition. I just wasn't confident that I could make enough spread on it after fees in my booth. And this one I thought was really cute for traveling, but in the end it was a little bit dirty on the inside, and again the price was just a little bit too high for me. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you liked that video, and I would love to know in the comments below what items did I pass up on that you totally would have picked up if you are a reseller as well. What did you think of the items that I got, and just general overall, what did you think of this video? If you did like it, please go ahead and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe. It really helps me, it doesn't cost anything, and will really help me grow this channel as I'm just starting out. So in the meantime, before my next video, keep finding some good treasure, and I'll see you in the next one.